And so the hours on Sundays are, Fran?
The hours on Sundays are 2 o'clock to 4.
Okay.
Adults, it's $2.50, $1 for children, under 4 free. And we have, some of them have crafts, stories, and then of course we have also experts who, you know, give programs.
So I would assume that the entrance fee, since it's such a nominal amount, doesn't cover the operating expenses here. Is that a correct assumption?
That is correct.
So how do you get more of your operating funds then?
Well, first of all, we have members, people who join. We have donations. When we go out on the showcases, we charge. When the schools come, we charge, and it's really a very minimal fee. And that's how we do have a tenant who lives upstairs, and that's
so if any of our Westfield viewers feel so compelled to donate some money now, how would they go about doing that? Is there a website that they can visit?
Yes, as a matter of fact, someone that you're going to speak with, Lowell Shantz, is here, and he made a beautiful website.
Very good.
I will let him give you the website number.
Okay.
When you speak to him.
Now, Fran, when people come and visit and tour the house, what do they generally find the most interesting? Is there one particular area or feature of the house that just seems the most interesting, or children or the adults?
Okay, the children find the outdoor bathroom the most interesting. The adults, the fact that we're here, that we're, I mean, 1740. The room that we're sitting in now was the first room in the house when they first built the house. And that this is now the kitchen, would have been the kitchen. We never light any candles or anything in the house because everything in the house is from that time period, from 1740 through 1820. Because when we became a museum, regular people had lived in the house, and so there was nothing left. So either the furniture was donated, or we purchased it. So everything here is original from that time period, and it's very, very costly. And I've gone to other colonial museums, and I'll say, well, how about that chair? Is that an original chair? Well, no, but it's a good copy. Well, here, when you come to visit, in all of our rooms, everything is original to that time period. So when
Mr. Miller, he was the first owner, correct?
That's
Mr.
correct.
Miller built the house. I assume he had a lot of acres in the area, not just what the house is sitting on right now.
He had 100 acres.
100 acres.
And when the property went from Route 22 down to what is now the First Presbyterian Church.
And was he farming those acres?
He was a farmer. They call this the plantation. Now we tend to think of plantations only in the South, but in those days the farm was called the plantation. They worked very, very hard from early morning until late at night, and they had apple orchards and, you know, all the. Of course, there weren't in those days. Westfield maybe had 8 houses in it. So they had no supermarkets, they had no drugstores, they had no department stores, and everything had to be either made on the farm or traded with their neighbors.
Fascinating. And so how long have you been on the board here?
Well, let me tell you how I happened to come here.
Sure.
Of course, I live in Westfield.
I should say you are a Westfield resident.
I've lived in Westfield for a long time, and I was active in the Westfield Bicentennial when we had that in 1976. And as I told you, the museum had opened in we opened in 1972, and at the time of the Bicentennial, you kept seeing people walking around in colonial costumes in town here. And then I was working full-time, and you know, after the bicentennial was over, and several years later, I was retired, and I don't like to use the word, I don't like to use retired, it sounds like so old, you know, but anyway. And I was passing by the house here, and I thought, gee, maybe I'll go and offer my time, and that was that was the last that I remember. Wow. So that was about 12 years ago. So I've been active in 12 years. I find it so fulfilling, such a wonderful thing to do, to promote the history of Westfield and New Jersey, and we welcome, of course, any volunteers, that people who feel the same way, who would like to join us.
And how big is your volunteer population now?
Not big enough. Yeah. hard to get volunteers. Very difficult. I would say that we have about maybe 35 active volunteers. And
you need them primarily to staff the house on when it's open?
We have something for everyone to do, for anyone to do. They can work in the gardens. They can help in the shop. They can be a docent, of course, and take, you know, we have full training for them. They can do public relations. I mean, and anything that you could think. They could take money on a Sunday. So we really have something for anyone who is interested in. I'm told, and I know, I just get such great pleasure from doing it, and the other volunteers do also.
Well, Fran, it is a beautiful home, and thank you for all you do to help keep this treasure alive, so to speak, and you know, thanks for sharing more about the Miller-Cory house to the viewers of TV36.
Well, and thank you for coming, and please come on a Sunday and see one of our programs, and love to have you.
Right. Thank you, Fran.